Nothing is bringing down Gravity, at least not yet. In its third week, the movie grossed more than all the other new releases combined. Gravity earned another $30 million. Tom Hanks enjoyed a solid hold on second place. His hostage thriller Captain Phillips earned $16.4 million, and the horror flick Carrie opened in third place with $16.1 million. In its final weekend before Halloween, and there aren't any scary movies opening in the theaters unless you count Johnny Knoxville's hidden camera movie Bad Grandpa. Here's Sean McBride, the movie guy, with a preview of this week's new movies.
Counselor, I always thought a law degree was a license to steal. You, for one, hadn't really capitalized on it.
Filmmaker Ridley Scott teams up with Pulitzer Prize-winning author Cormac McCarthy for the dark crime thriller The Counselor. This is the story of a lawyer who gets involved with an illegal business deal only to watch it and his life quickly spiral out of control.
Have you been bad?
Now, this is a big crime drama with a pedigree writer and a big-name cast, so it's something of surprise that it's not being shown to critics. Never a good sign.
I'm hungry.
Follow my lead.
Bad Grandpa is the latest hidden camera film from Johnny Knoxville. Now, his face is too well known by the general public, so he's disguised up as an old man who's taking his grandson out. Together, these two pranksters, young and old, get into all sorts of trouble and put the unwitting bystanders into all manner of awkward situations, which is precisely the point of the movie.
Want to have some fun?
Yeah.
And that's what's new at the movies this week. I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy.
And Sean McBride, the movie guy, joins us via Skype to talk about the new movies. Hi, Sean.
How are you today?
I'm good. Let's talk about Bad Grandpa. This is Johnny Knoxville doing what Johnny Knoxville does. The twist being, if there is one, the hidden camera.
Yeah, it's Johnny Knoxville kind of doing a Borat type film. Normally, Johnny Knoxville is just doing stupid pranks where he hurts himself. This time out, he puts on the makeup and he's going out as I believe that's an 86-year-old grandfather with his grandson, and they're going out and getting all sorts of silly trouble. You know, it is exactly what it is. If you're a fan of Johnny Knoxville's brand of humor, or of Borat, where people are put into awkward situations and you laugh, well, then I'll say that you probably like this film because it is funny at times. That being said, it's not a great film by any means. It's just awkward, and, you know, awkward and silly only goes so far. So, you know, fans of Johnny Knoxville and his shows, you know, they'll probably be okay with it. I think it will do okay. It certainly made me laugh, but I just don't think it's a great movie by any means.
Let's go on to The Counsel. This is a movie that sort of has a pedigree. We have Cormac McCarthy doing an original screenplay. He hasn't done many of those. We have lots of stars galore. You got Brad Pitt, Cameron Diaz, Javier Bardem, and directing the renowned Ridley Scott. You know, he had me at Blade Runner. So the expectations are just sort of through the roof on this movie.
Yeah, it's interesting because for the longest time, if you were, like in February, if you were looking for the film to look at and look out for in late October, November, this was one of the top ones simply because of that pedigree. In addition to that, it's also got a great cinematographer working for it. You know, and Cormac McCarthy re-teaming with Javier Bardem and Michael Fassbender, who's, you know, one of the hot stars out there right now. And then they just weren't showing it to anybody for the longest time, and the trailer is really confusing. You know, I don't think people understand what this film is about. You know, it's about a lawyer that decides to try and get involved with a drug deal, thinking that it'll be a big payday and he'll be able to retire. And naturally, this being a Cormac McCarthy story, things go wrong and everything spirals out of control. But it's really a portrait of a bunch of disparate characters, sort of over-the-top criminal types. I didn't get to see it, so I can't tell you too much about it, but it is one of those films that people are saying it looks fantastic. It certainly, you're going to want to see it if you're a big fan of Ridley Scott or any of the actors, because it is a real big name cast. But that being said, it's just not really getting a lot of people on its side.
Yeah, was it surprising to you that that there wasn't more screenings for this movie?
Surprising only to the point where we thought the film would be better, and a lot of times when they don't do the screenings or they just do them for some select critics, that's sort of a giveaway that they think the film's not great. They want to get a little bit of publicity out there, but they don't want a lot of critics to pile on and start saying it's a bad movie. So yeah. Who knows, it may be the greatest thing in the world.
Well, and it may be that the expectations are so high given the writer and the director. I mean, Ridley Scott to me doesn't really make bad movies. speaking as a fanboy there, of course. So I guess, you know, I'll probably see it just because he made the movie. But maybe when they think critics, you know, sometimes critics can go, well, given all the forces, this should be a knockout home run movie. I don't know. I'm kind of pontificating here.
I'm actually right there with you. I think critics, myself included, sometimes we do have a tendency to pile on to a film where the expectations aren't met, and that's somewhat unfair to the movie. But, you know, audiences also go in with expectations, and if the movie doesn't live up to them, then the audience will be even a little more disappointed than going in and finding a surprisingly good movie that you didn't really think was going to be anything special. So who knows? I'll have to see it this weekend like the rest of y'all.
All right, Sean, worst case scenario, everyone can go see Gravity again.
Go see Gravity again, or next week we have Ender's Game coming out, which is, particularly if you're a science fiction geek, it's one of the most anticipated films in a long time.
All right, thanks, Sean.
See you next week.
And we'll see all of you at a matinee.